On this Founders Day, we celebrate St. John DeMatha and the Order of the Most Holy Trinity and Happiness. Students and alums, you are blessed, as I was blessed, to receive the Trinitarian education. And let's remind ourselves of the distinct qualities of that education. The Trinitarian education must do three particular things. It must emphasize relationships, because the Trinitarians, at their founding, recognized God, the Trinity, as a series of relationships. So if we are educated in the Trinitarian tradition, we must attend to relationships with both God and each other. That is the way we honor Him. Second, the Trinitarian education has to emphasize freedom. From the beginning, the Trinitarians understood that someone's work, their life, their soul, their attention, their spirit, only truly matter if they are freely given. Because a gift that is given freely is a sign of humanity. It is not an accident that the founding of the Trinitarians comes from a vision that celebrates the breaking of chains and yet shows Jesus holding us by the hand. How we manage our freedom is central to our humanity. Third, a Trinitarian education requires that we work towards social justice. Founded in a time of social upheaval, crusades, and rooted in the gospel call that we see Jesus in the poor, the hungry, the sick. The Trinitarians recognize that while Jesus' teaching is timeless, His teaching needs to be enacted in time. I'd like for us to consider another distinct aspect of the Trinitarians that should also be part of our Trinitarian education, and that is the virtue of humility. When we pray, we usually adopt one of three forms of interacting with the divine. We can ask for help for ourselves or others. We can say thank you in appreciation for an experience or an opportunity. And we can say, wow, in recognition of a remarkable turn of events, a majestic sunset, a view of the cosmos, a sublime work of art, an athletic or musical performance, or in any other myriad situations. What links all of our prayers? Help, thanks, wow. In addition to the fact that they are opening a conversation with God, is that each reflects a particular kind of humility. When we ask for help, we are conscious that we cannot do everything ourselves, and we need humility to ask for help. When we say thank you, or when we show appreciation, we are acknowledging that others have contributed to whatever enterprise we appreciate. It was not all our own work. And when we say wow, we are conscious of our own littleness before beauty, before goodness, before truth, before majesty, before time. These are beyond our ability to control, or perform, or comprehend, and we stand in awe. The reason that in our culture so many people have trouble praying is because they do not want to perform the act of humility that is required. They want to believe that they don't need help in any way because to do so would be an admission of weakness. They do not want to say thank you because they believe that to do so diminishes their role in whatever the enterprise. They are afraid someone else will get the credit. And so they refuse the act of humility that comes from saying thank you. They ridicule others or attack their motives because they lack humility, and we have all been this person. They diminish or ignore the accomplishments of others in art, athletics, the intellect. They close themselves off to anything that would remove them from the center of their own universe. To see the elegance of an equation or number sequence, to hear the beauty of a musical composition, to appreciate the complexity of a novel or the intricacy of a poem, to witness the glory of an athletic performance, requirements and be conscious of the discipline behind it. To see oneself as small, standing on a beach or a mountain. To contemplate our place in the universe from the eyepiece of an electron microscope or at the foot of the Hubble telescope, all require humility. To pray, then, is to perform an act of humility. But to be humble is to live a prayer. In 1198, on December the 17th, Pope Innocent III officially recognized the Order of the Most Holy Trinity and of the Catholics, the Trinitarians, and so encouraged us all to embrace humility as a way of life, so that our lives themselves become prayers. Religious orders traditionally take vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Some orders add an additional vow. The Benedictines, for example, who run St. Anselm's, take a vow of stability. They vow to stay wherever they are placed. The Jesuits take a vow of particular obedience to the Pope. Missionaries of Charity take an additional vow to work only with the poorest of the poor. Still others take vows of silence or even vows of enclosure. The Trinitarians take the traditional vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, but they also take a vow of humility. In one way, this means that the Trinitarians cannot aspire to church office. They cannot campaign to be bishops or archbishops. They cannot try to get further in the church hierarchy. And even within their own order, they cannot campaign for leadership positions. This is a small thing, but the Trinitarians go by their first name. So we say, "Good morning, Father James," but not "Good morning, Father Day." We say, "Thanks to Father Damien for saying Mass for the team," but not "Thanks to Father Andrzejewski for saying Mass for the team." We say, "Good to see you, Brother Josh," but not "Good to see you, Brother Worship." The reason for this comes from the essential humility of the Trinitarians. They see us as their brothers and sisters, working to partner with us in their mission. We are familiar to them with the root of that word, family. Humility defines the Trinitarian way of life inside and outside their church relationships. And humility itself is a difficult virtue to praise, but it's really important. It's one of the 7 contrary virtues, which are the specific opposites of the 7 deadly sins. And I always have an easier time remembering the sins than the virtues. So, the 7 deadly sins, as you recall, are lechery, or lust, envy, jealousy sometimes, gluttony, avarice, or greed, sloth, or laziness, anger, and pride. So to combat those, we practice chastity against lust. We practice kindness against envy. We practice abstinence or self-control against gluttony. We practice generosity against greed. We practice diligence against sloth or laziness. We practice patience against anger. And most importantly, we practice humility against pride. It is a peculiar thing that you cannot be proud of your own humility. The minute that you are no longer humble. Pride is the most deadly of all the sins because it immediately takes us only to ourselves, and it denies our need to be in community. It denies our interdependence, and it denies our relationship to God. Pride causes us to look down on others, to think too highly of ourselves. But humility, that takes us to others. It reinforces our need to be in community. It reminds us of our reliance on God and our need for His presence. Humility is what helps us see the face of God in others, especially those at the margins, and to recognize our need for them in our lives. When the Trinitarians take the vow of humility, they pass that along to us. So that we honor the charism or gift of the Trinitarians, let us vow to be people of better relationships, to make wise use of our freedom, to work towards social justice, and to practice humility. If we can do that, we will return to them the gifts that they have given to us. Please join me in thanking Father Damien and Father James, who represent to us each day the Trinitarian vocation, the Trinitarian charism, the Trinitarian mission. We are proud to be with them, one DeMatha.